How's it going, guys? Andrew here with Justified EDC. As you can see by my table here, we got a couple of different things to go over. This is going to kind of be a update on how some reviews are going. I do have two new things to show you that I haven't shown off yet that I just wanted to get on camera, you know, before they got their actual dedicated videos or anything. But a couple of these things you've already seen and just have some updates. Normally I say, you know, go follow me on Instagram to get updates about how my reviews are going, you know, if I run into any issues or stuff's performing really well, or you can just kind of see what I'm carrying and what I'm doing with them. That's the best way to do it. As always, you know, I'll link down in the description to my Instagram so you can go follow me there if you're at all interested. But I think I want to start doing more kind of intermediate videos in between, you know, when I first show them off and, you know, the new knives and gear series and then the review series. Something kind of in the middle to keep you guys updated as reviews go, so it's not just, hey, here's a new thing and here's the results. There's just a little bit of a middle ground. So just wanted to put all this out here to keep your attention, but we're going to move this stuff off to the side quick while I'm doing that. And while I'm doing that, we got to thank the sponsor of the channel as always, Auxiliary Manufacturing. If you're not familiar, Mike over at Auxiliary Manufacturing is making awesome custom USA-made fixed blades. Got two of his models here. This is the Sumi. This is the Pocket Bowie. These two both happen to have offensive industry sheaths that you can get aftermarket. But Mike has been an awesome sponsor of the channel, you know, sending stuff along for me to review, helping me get stuff for the channel. He has a bunch of different designs out here. He just had a drop recently. I don't know if I think there's a couple things still available. He had some cool Damascus stuff. He had a really cool larger Bowie that, like, I really wanted to buy but couldn't afford it right now. But if you're interested in USA made custom fixed blades, I don't think you can go wrong with any of his stuff, so definitely go check him out. I do have a discount code with him. Code Justified10 will get you 10% off your order on his website. So links to his stuff will be down in the description as well as the discount code, so definitely go check it out. And thank you as always to Mike for sponsoring the channel. So let's get into this. Let's do the new stuff here first. This is semi-new, but this is my Victorinox hiker that now has some upgraded scales on it. So this is from a maker on Instagram. I will leave a link to his page because I forget his exact. It's Knife Guy and then a couple numbers and stuff after that. But I believe his name is Josh. I will leave links to all of his stuff down in the description. He does really, really nice work. He's been doing some, you know, slip joint recovers on some case knives and stuff, and he just started doing some Victorinox recovers. So I was looking to, you know, upgrade from the regular plastic red scales that come with a lot of the Victorinox models. They're really slick. I don't really like the look of them all that much. I don't like how, you know, chintzy they feel. I much prefer the Alox versions, but wanted to get some micarta scales on here, so I sent this off to him and got these beautiful natural micarta scales with green G10 liners. So he's got a bunch of different options for, you know, different micartas, whether they're standard or crosscut. He's got a bunch of G10 options for liners and stuff like this. But I really like the earth tones and stuff like that. So these came out really, really nice. Did not affect the function of the tools at all or anything like that. They all still work perfectly. The only thing that you lose with these is he's doing all of these by hand. He's not doing any, he doesn't have any machines or anything. So he's hand fitting these and everything. So he doesn't have a way to cut the inserts for like the tweezers and the toothpick, which is not a big deal for me because, you know, as you know, I'm testing out this you know, G3D Bic stash here, which has all the Victorinox tools in it. So for me, not a big deal. I have one of these with me all the time, and if not, I have my classic SD in my pouch that has the tweezers and the toothpick. So you do lose those two little tools, but other than that, I think this is a really, really nice upgrade. It was relatively cheap too. I think it was $55. I think I paid him for this mod. So, and I think I had it back to me within a week or two. So really good turnaround time, good price. The work is really, really nice. Everything is finished very, very well. Very happy with these. So definitely go check him out. Like I said, I'll leave links to his Instagram down below. So I don't know if I'll do a full review on, they won't be a full review just on the scales, but I'll probably do a review on the hiker, just because I think it's kind of my favorite tool set for Victorinox. So I'll probably do a review on that at some point, but you'll definitely see it in my EDC updates and stuff going forward. The other thing that you haven't seen yet is this. So these are, this gun is not new. This is my Smith & Wesson 638 Airweight in 38 Special. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this out for all the safety nerds. There you can see ammo is removed, cylinders empty. We are all good to go. So this gun is clear and safe. So this is my 638. This is the model with the shrouded hammer that you can still cock into single action, but you can also shoot it in double action. These are grips from Hamre Forge, which is a company I've been following on Instagram for a while. They're doing these really cool 3D printed nylon carbon fiber grips. Now these are done in not your traditional 3D printing. This is done on like a more industrial grade printer. If you're interested in the in how that kind of works, you can go on his page and you can look up the process and everything. But these are very, very nicely done. One thing that he did say is these are made for you know, the no hammer versions of the J-frame that kind of have a more squared off cut. So that's why it doesn't quite line up on that side. At some point I'll probably just, you know, score this and sand it down to fit. But, you know, other than that, like, the fit is very nice. It fits very comfortable. It has this kind of natural texture on it. I pretty much always put some kind of grip tape or grip wrap or something on my J-frame handles, just because most of them, even the ones with texture, aren't grippy enough. These I haven't yet. I've been carrying these for, you know, I got them, I think, when we got, so I've been carrying this for about a week now, every day, and the texture is very nice. But the shining feature of this is this built-in hook right here. So this is so you don't have to carry with a holster. You can just tuck this onto your waistband or over a belt or something like that, and it's very easy to carry with. You know, I normally, like with striker fired guns and stuff like that, or guns with shorter trigger pulls, really don't recommend carrying without a holster. But especially with J-frames, where you have this very long, very heavy double action trigger, you don't really need to. You can throw this in a pocket or inside the waistband or whatever. But this gives you an option to do it without needing one of those like clip grips that you have to like take the screws out and actually mount it to the frame of the gun. These are just built, this is just built in. I really enjoyed carrying this. You know, I don't usually carry a J-frame out and about. I have been just to test this, but what I really like the J-frame for is for carrying around the house and around the property, that kind of thing, you know. Just if I'm wearing athletic shorts or sweatpants or something, it's very easy and comfortable to just tuck this into my waistband, not to put a holster on. Because the other problem with a lot of Kydex holsters is the retention is set up for being clipped to a belt, where you have a lot more rigidity, where you know it's going to keep it from coming out of the holster. But when it's just clipped to your waistband, often, you know, the retention on the holster is a bit much, so you end up either not pulling it out on the first try, or like the holster flips up and out of your waistband. So you don't have to worry about this. Worry about it with this. You can just tuck it into your waistband. You can wear this with a belt. It does fit. You know, I use a Blue Alpha belt, standard 1.5 inch belt. You can just tuck it over that and over your jeans, and it works very, very well, very comfortable. So I've been wearing this for about a week now. I'll keep carrying this, and I need to take it to the range and shoot with these. I haven't shot with these grips yet. They're very standard, like, you know, boot grips for a J-frame in terms of the shape, other than this claw here, so I feel comfortable carrying with it. But I will take this to the range and put some rounds through it with this, just to see how, you know, how it absorbs recoil and stuff like that. But really cool grips. I just reached out, and they were very gracious in sending these over for me to review. So one of you guys, if I remember the name, I'll link them down. They had asked if I had tried these out, and I hadn't. So thank you for their recommendation, and thank you for Hamre Forge for sending these over. I've definitely been enjoying these so far. So that will get a full review down the road, just like all holster reviews and stuff like that. And speaking of holsters, let's get into this. This is the Harry's Holsters Infiltrator for the Glock 17. Again, I will clear the gun. Oh, there goes that round. Hang on, let me grab that real quick. I really should have just caught that, but okay. The gun is clear. Nothing in the mag, nothing in the chamber. We're clear. So get that out of here. Normally I carry my Glock 17 with, where did it go? It's all hiding down underneath here. Normally I carry it with a Surefire X300 U. This is the B version, so it's the one with the wheel you can actually crank down on with a little emissary paddle switch. So I normally carry with the X300 in a traditional arms light-bearing jab holster. But I love Harry's holsters. I love their J-frame holsters. They're just extremely well thought out, so I had reached out to them, asked them if they would be willing to send one of these over for me to review. And this is an incredibly comfortable holster. I talked about, I think the first time I showed this off, how comfortable and easy it was to carry and conceal in this, and that has continued to be my experience. Again, this isn't the full review, but just an update that this has continued to be a great holster. The retention is super solid. There's absolutely no rattle or anything. The retention is really solid, but it's still easy enough to get in and out. Get a solid grip on the gun. There's nothing impeding your grip. Mono blocks held up well. This molded in concealment wing does awesome. This is probably one of the most comfortable holsters I've ever carried in, and it still conceals very well with that built-in grip. So just not a whole lot more to say about that. Just it's continued to be really great. I'm gonna go ahead and load this up again because this is what I had been carrying. So that's gonna go back in my pants. But Infiltrator has still been doing very, very well. In terms of, we're going to talk about this real quick here. This is, and I had been calling this the Sosby 5-inch Cub. He actually decided to give this its own name. He's calling this the Fang 5, and there's the Fang 4. So this is its own model. It's kind of a modified Cub handle with a longer blade, so obviously the Fang 5 is the one with the 5-inch blade. The Fang 4 has a 4-inch blade. So one, I just wanted to correct that, and two, I wanted to kind of give an update on how it's been carrying in this Offensive Industries leather sheath. So when I first got in this, I was saying it was kind of a little bit hard to kind of resheath in your pants, and I still hold that I think it's more difficult to resheath a leather sheath or holster inside the waistband than it is with Kydex. I'm still not a huge fan. I really don't like leather holsters inside the waistband. But for knives, especially now that this is molded, it's much easier to get in and out. It's kind of taken form much better. You can put it in either direction. But the way I've been carrying this, especially now that I've been carrying the J-frame, is when I carry my Glock, I carry this appendix and I carry a spare mag with an extension on my left side, so they kind of ride like that. So there wasn't a great way for me to carry this inside the waistband when I'm carrying the larger gun, but when I have a smaller gun like this, not only am I not carrying a reload inside the waistband, but you know, it's just nicer to have a bigger backup tool like a large fixed blade. So the way I carry my reloads for the J-frame is in this Neomag Rask in the pocket. So that frees up the left side of my waistband to have this. So I've been carrying this tucked in one side and this tucked kind of at an angle. What I do is I clip this behind my belt, just onto my pants, just onto my waistband, kind of at an angle. So it kind of rides like that with the holster, or with the gun like that. So that's kind of how it's set up versus having my full-size gun and a extended mag appendix. So that's how I've been carrying those. Really still been enjoying this knife, the Fang 5. It's just absolutely incredible. I love this knife so much. It's very ergonomic and comfortable for my hands. I love the micarta. I'm very glad I grabbed this before he switched to just doing these in G10. So excellent knife. I probably will do a review on this just because I love it so much. And then on a similar vein, another one that I've been kind of carrying inside the waistband in conjunction with my J-frame is the Turner CNC Jackalope XL. So we're going to talk about more about how this has been doing in review, but I just wanted to say I also, mounted a DCC clip like that. This one I actually do clip over the belt, and it kind of just rides angled like that. So if you're looking down at my waistband, it would kind of look like that. So again, similar to how I was carrying the Sosby, they've just been carrying up front like that. So because I have my reload in my pocket, I just have this on the left side of my waistband. So we'll get the J-frame out of here. Actually, I am gonna, again, because I had this in my waistband here while I was around the house, I am gonna go ahead and reload this just so I don't forget to do it later. We're gonna set that off to the side. Put that over there with the other gun, and then we'll talk about how this has been doing. So I did, I've been very much enjoying this knife. I think it's a really awesome design. I really enjoy how it performs. That being said, I did have an issue with it in testing. I filmed a separate thing about it when I had the other one here that I'll cut into the final review. But just for your purposes, just so you guys know, when I do fixed blade reviews, if they're at all built for tactical use or hard use at all, I do tip tests on them. So what that means is I take the knife, and not super deep or super aggressive, but I just stab wood and then I pry both ways just to test the integrity of the tip, just to see how it'll hold up. Again, for hard use, that being, you know, if you're doing any kind of woodworking, you have to get in and like kind of pry wood or anything like that. Not that you should be prying with your knives, but there is a certain amount of torque that you will put on a hard use fixed blade. Or for defensive use, you know, if you're going to be stabbing into something or someone and you hit bone, you want that tip to be able to hold up to taking a stab like that. So I just use, you know, 2x4, something like this. I do a bit of, you know, hacking on the edge just to test the edge stability. That held up beautifully. I did some carving on the edge here just to, you know, kind of carve and twist just to make sure that edge doesn't chip out or anything like that. That held up great. And then I was doing the tip tests. It was passing a bunch of them. You know, it was taking the straight stabs. I'm not going to do it here on camera because it really shakes my desk, but I do have footage of it that I'll cut into the whole review. But, you know, I was doing the stabs, and then I started doing the ones where I would pry both ways. It took it like a champ for the first couple, and then I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there is the tip of the first one of these. What I didn't tell you is this is actually the second Jackalope XL that I've had now. I actually did end up snapping off about 1/8 of an inch of the tip. I'm not really sure what happened. You know, these are made out of 3V, which is a very much well known for being a very tough steel that can take a lot of abuse. The tip isn't the thickest in the world, but it is a robust enough tip. And on Turner CNC's website, it says that the tip is, quote, ground to be able to be hard used. So, you know, I wanted to test that out. Now, I reached out to them. They were very receptive to the feedback. You know, I said, hey, I don't know if this is something that I shouldn't have been doing with the knife, but, you know, website said this, so I wanted to test it out. This is what happened. It snapped. What should we do about it? Do you want me to try to reprofile it myself? Do you want me to send it back? They had me send the old one back, and they sent me a replacement to be able to continue doing the testing. On their end, they said that they've never seen a tip break like that on this model before, so I have no choice but to take that at face value. I have no reason to believe they're lying to me. I've never heard about any issues with this model from Turner before. I've never heard of that tip breaking before. So, you know, as much as we'd like to see knives not have failures, things do happen, you know, especially in small batch stuff like this where everything's being done in-house. You know, heat treat can get messed up. It happens. I suspect it might have been a fluke in the heat treat, just because with the first one that I had, and this is another reason I wanted to bring this up, is the first one that I had, when I got it out of the box, it was absolutely just shaving paper, just super, super well. And then I started doing my EDC stuff with it, you know, opening boxes and breaking cardboard down and, you know, cutting tubing up and stuff like that. You know, I was cutting, you know, I see a lot of YouTubers, you know, test by like cutting through big wrapped strips of denim. So, you know, I had an old denim jacket I wasn't using for, I wrapped up and was cutting through that. And it was still cutting beautifully through all those tests, but then I took it back to paper. And it was really struggling to cut paper, which I was surprised by because, you know, 3V, you know, as much as it is mostly known for its toughness, it's also known to hold an edge decently well. So I was a little surprised. I was like, you know, it's lost a little bit of that bite to the edge. So I don't know if, you know, that evidence compounded with, you know, the tip breaking. I don't know if there was something up with the heat treat because I got this a couple days ago. I started doing the same testing with it, you know, breaking down cardboard and opening stuff up. And, you know, I did do a couple more tip tests. I wasn't quite as aggressive with it because, you know, I really didn't want to deal with breaking another knife. But it held up perfectly to the tip test this time. And, you know, this time now when I cut paper, at least up until this point, it's still cutting paper, no problem. So I suspect it might have been a heat treat issue, but I know I got to give it to Turner. I got to give him props for, you know, sending out another one and being so receptive and cool about it. So I think that was just a fluke. I think this is going to continue to perform really well. Other than that, I've had no issues with the knife. It's done everything I've asked of it. I am going to be doing some, you know, fire prep and woodwork with it this weekend. So, you know, I'll let you guys know how it holds up to that in the final review. But just wanted to give you an update on that. One, to show you how I've been carrying it in conjunction with the J-frame, but also just to, you know, address the fact that the tip had snapped, and I'm now testing a second Jackalope XL. So that's that. Moving on. This is something that, this is probably going to be the next review that you see. I'm probably either, I might even actually just film this right after this. I was considering whether I wanted to do some more testing or not, but this is the old timer Sharpfinger made by Bear & Son here in the US. You know, bone handles, 1095 high carbon, hollow ground, all that kind of stuff. Just a very traditional, you know, skinning hunting knife. It has continued to perform, I would guess, as expected. And all that to be said, this is a skinning knife. It's designed to process game. It's not designed to be an EDC knife or a woods knife or anything like that. But out of my curiosity, and because I always love seeing USA-made stuff in a more budget realm, I picked one of these up to see how, you know, how it would hold up to more EDC use. And it's kind of performed as expected. You know, the hollow grind does cut very well. The edge retention is pretty poor, if I'm being honest. My guess, I don't know what HRC they're running this at, but my guess is it's a very low HRC. I've had to touch this up several times just from like breaking down a couple boxes. Again, before everyone gets in here and yells at me for, why are you using a skinning knife to break down cardboard? I know that's not what it's meant for, but I wanted to put it through my normal testing paces to see what it would do. You know, for skinning an animal out, this would probably be fine. Again, you could probably keep a strap on hand and strap it up and it would do just fine. The hollow grind is very nicely done, and when the edge is sharp, it glides through material really well. Also, I was concerned about whether or not, let's see if I can get this to focus here. You can see that kind of dark spot right there by the tip. I was concerned that the tip might have gotten burnt in sharpening, but I did do some tip tests with this a little bit, not very aggressive, but it did hold up. It didn't even really bend at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. Again, it looks on the tip, let me see if I can get it to focus, it looks almost a little bit bent, but I think that's just because it's been sharpened unevenly from the factory. So I have mixed feelings about this. The sheath absolutely sucks. I hate this sheath. I've been carrying it in a different sheath, but, you know, just wanted to let you guys know that it's kind of performing as expected. You know, if you want a budget USA-made skinning knife, I think it would probably be fine, but also, like, Buck makes some skinning knives that I think are probably going to be better heat treated, you know, Boss heat treat, and the fit and finish is going to be a little bit better from Buck, but I think this would be fine, but, you know, we'll see how it is on the full review. We'll see if I decide to put this through any more of its paces, or we'll just throw a review out. But that's all I wanted to say about that. The last things here are, I wanted to show how I was kind of carrying this. So, you know, I had been carrying the Milwaukee here, which we'll talk about here in a second. That's the last thing I want to talk about, how that's going. But, you know, I wanted to carry my Swiss Army knife. And ever since I got this K-bar trapper back from getting the half stops added and getting these stag covers from Box Creek, I've been pretty much carrying this knife every single day. It's an amazing knife. I love it so much. I love how it looks. You know, carbon steel, half stop, stag, American made. It's just a beautiful knife. So I have this slip here from Epoch Leather. I'll leave links down to his page as well. I'll leave links to all this stuff. But I had this pouch from him. You know, there's his logo there on the back. So I've been carrying the Swiss Army knife and this in there. It's been doing well enough. It's not quite big enough to fit this Swiss Army knife, but I've left it in there long enough that it's kind of stretched and conformed, and now I can get it out a little bit easily. You can kind of see how it's being bent there. So I'll probably reach out to him and have a custom one of these made, because it's a little loose on this as well. But for now, this is how I've been carrying that, and then I've kind of, you know, had a fixed blade, my gun, all my other tools or whatever. But these have been the multi-tool and the pocket knife that I've been carrying, so I just wanted to show that off. And then the last thing here is this. Not the Milwaukee Fastback itself exactly, although I did just get these serrated utility knife blades. I forget who makes these. I'll have to find that and put a link to it. But these things just are awesome. They cut for seemingly forever, at least forever for a utility blade, more than than just the straight blades do. So I've been testing that out, but also this pocket clip, this tip-up pocket clip mod from G3D, which, full disclosure, is my 3D printing company. So, but in the research and development phase on this pocket clip mod, it has not loosened up at all. None of the hardware has been backing out at all. It's been holding up well to heat. I left this in my car for, I think, a full 2 days in like 90+ degree weather. ABS has a very high deformation temperature, so it's held up just fine. I've been doing drop tests with this on wooden floors, concrete floors, and the gravel driveway outside my house. And it's barely been getting scuffed, let alone breaking or loosening up. Like, I don't know how to show it on camera, but this is still completely solid. Whoops, as I drop it there. Drop test. The clip has not come loose at all, so very, very happy with how this has been performing. I'm really excited to get these out to you guys. This might be the next thing that we drop. My guess is look out in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably have these available. We do want to send them out to a couple people just to get some feedback and make sure, you know, other people are testing them just besides us, because we're biased, obviously. So, but in my own carry and testing, this has been working out great. Very happy with how this mod has come along. So that's about it, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to show you. I think that's about it. So I'm going to pull all this stuff back out here that we were talking about. Let me know if you have any questions about my testing or any of the products that I showed off or anything like that. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. If you have any concerns, you know, about how I'm testing or any feedback, have you guys had any of these products before? Let me know what your experience has been. As always, I will see you guys in the next video.